Hi, and welcome to another one of my live LinkedIn 15-minute snappy chats, which is all about learning and growing business with other business owners. The reason why I do these interviews is because I find that being in business after 8 years can be a lonely ride, and we can all learn and grow from each other because the truth is, we all go through some of the same experiences. We all have some of the same challenges in business. So why not learn and grow from each other? And that way we can not only feel that someone else is hearing us, we also have support. And this is what it's all about in business. If we can build a great support network, honestly, it becomes a lot easier to stay through the challenging times and also learning and growing together. And I'm so thrilled. I have the wonderful Stephen today with me in the studio. He's actually in Melbourne, and he's going to tell us a lot more about what he does shortly. But I just want to say I met Stephen about a year ago, I think, on LinkedIn and through networking, and we had a great one-on-one catch up, and it was just super interesting to learn about what he does in business in terms of helping small businesses as well. And I'm very excited to have you here today, Stephen. So please tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do in business.
Absolutely. Hey, Christine, so good to catch up again. I know that we caught up one-on-ones and a number of conversations. I absolutely enjoy each one of those conversations that we had. You're an amazing human being, and this amazing initiative that you got is absolutely wonderful, right? Short, sharp, succinct, 15 minutes, absolutely wonderful, power pack. And I've caught up with a couple of your sessions as well. It's really valuable. So you guys, if you haven't caught up with the previous sessions or recordings, do that, because there's a lot of goals in each of those sessions as well. So a quick update of who I am and what I do is I help business owners to optimize their profit, right? And I go around sharing people during networking sessions that I'm a profit optimizer, and that's what I do, right? Optimize profits for small businesses. And how do I optimize profit? By not looking at the numbers, right? By looking at systems, structures, processes, right? Leadership, communication, right? That's the first part. The second part is to look at reconditioning, the breakthrough, the conditioning of the business owner themselves, so they can become better leader, better communicator, right? And then they start walking the talk, right? So and then that's really important, and not just putting band-aid over band-aid, but really understand and resolve what's causing the cut. Then you don't have to put in on the band-aid anymore. So really, really cool stuff.
I love that. And I love your analogy too, because you know what? If we just keep trying to put band-aids on a lack of mental strength or whatever is going on, it's just going to keep reappearing. Yeah, it's just going to keep bleeding at some point. So it's really important that we actually have a solution in place. And nothing that you do, which is so important, is we need to make profit. We don't have a business without making profit, yeah, at least not for long. So that is really, really important, and it's definitely one of the challenges that I have faced in business as well, especially with the changes that happened in the last few years in the world. Definitely showed me that this was one of the most important things to get right in terms of profit, systems, financial wealth and health in our business. So I love what you do, Stephen. So thank you so much for sharing that. And for everyone who's listening in and wants to find out more, please connect with Stephen, and he will tell you a bit more how you can reach him at the end. But first, let's talk about a challenge that you have faced in business, because we know there's plenty of challenges in business, yeah?
Absolutely. And that's the joy of being in business, to see challenges, right? And we got to embrace challenge. If we don't like, I do not like challenges, man, then you're not in the right field. Yeah, that's, you're in the right field. You got to, having a different mindset in terms of challenges. You don't have to love it, but you got to embrace it and seeing from the other angle and say, okay, how can I grow from this? How can I, resolve this? Because there's always going to be challenges.
Yeah,
right?
and there's always a learning in a challenge. So tell me about a specific challenge that you've had in business that we can all learn from.
Okay, specific challenge. Oh, wow. Which one should I go for?
We all have plenty.
We do have plenty. I'll share this with yourself and your amazing audience as well. Is I haven't reached out sooner enough on the problem that I've got. Yeah. I thought, you know what? I'm gonna sit down and think about it a little bit longer.
Yeah. Right? What's the problem that you kept looking at without reaching out for help?
When I first started, I have no idea about marketing. Yeah. Right. I have no idea about marketing. Right. I'm really good in numbers, I'm good at processes, systems, risk management, leadership, communication. But in terms of marketing, it's like, okay, I'm not too sure what to do. How do I market myself? Yeah. And I thought, okay, let's understand what marketing is and sit down and having a bit of a think what I need to do, what could I do differently and all, right? There's a lot of reflection time. But what I should have done is actually reach out and say, hey, you know what? I've got a problem on marketing. I don't know how to market, and that's okay. Yeah, to actually own it that you do not know everything in the business, and that's okay, right? And actually reach out and say, okay, who can I get support? Who can I get some help with? Who can I reach out to get a bit of education, right? This session, like I said, this session is absolutely amazing, right? Because it gives you that level of insight that you might not have. Yeah, because when I first started my business, we didn't have this kind of amazing platform to actually share the knowledge. So, which is really, really wonderful. So, having
I totally hear you.
yeah. So if I
And
would do it again, so I would have reached out earlier in terms of, okay, I've got a problem. Who can I help? Who can I get help from? And within my community and outside the community as well. Yeah.
yeah. And you know what you're bringing it back to, what I just had a thought about is, and it's something I think I did a video on at some point as well. I think for a lot of us, when we start business and we are one-man band or we're a small team, when we start out, we don't necessarily, and see if you agree with this, we don't necessarily realize how much upskilling is required. So we may be really, really strong in one area, which is usually where we offer business offer in. So I'm good in marketing, I'm good with market research, I'm good with understanding our customers, but there's so much stuff that I didn't know. Let's take finances, totally didn't know. Take technology, for me, didn't know. There's all these different areas, especially we also want to run a business online, we suddenly have to upskill. Is that correct? Do you agree with that?
100%. And you got a choice to make, whether to spend more time on things that you're not so good at, or do you want to use this time on focus on things that you're really good at and make it even better? Right? Because we only have 24 hours a day. Minus the time that you get rest, minus the time that if you have a young family like myself, we're going to spend time with our kids as well. So our time's really limited, really precious, right? So
and also you need to make money quickly. It's like you can't, when you have a family, it's not just you actually got to provide as well.
100%, right? How are you going to spend the time effectively and deliberately as well to move you forward?
So there's a lot to learn here in terms of, do we get help? And then, of course, from many's perspective is, do we have the money to get help, or do we have to actually learn certain things?
100%. Look, there's a couple of factors in there. When this is my personal view, when you start thinking about, do I have money to get help? And that's a limiting mindset.
Yes, that's true.
To have, correct? Because the money is not a factor. It's not a critical factor. It's not a deciding factor, right? So when you get the help and you have to generate the business and your business move forward, then you get the cash and you pay off whatever that you are investing. It's about investment, right? When you buy a property, you don't have the whole amount of money to buy the property, right? So you invest and you keep building on that. So it's the same mindset.
And often you take a loan out because you know the investment is going to pay back. And you're absolutely right. It's a mindset thing. Is, can I afford this? If I can't, what's stopping me? Where am I feeling? What am I worried about? And then we might have to sit with those things. And there's one thing I learned about business, which you alluded to at the beginning, is it's all about mindset. We've got to get the mindset right. And I did not realize when I started business that it was going to take me on the greatest challenging and fantastic personal development journey in terms of mindset.
100%. I absolutely, I could not agree you more. And something that I shared with my client recently is this, and I'm happy to share this with yourself and your amazing audience, is it's either you pay for it or you pay for it, right? It's either you pay for it or you pay for it, right? It's either you use the money and invest in your business, or you are paying for it in terms of your time that you lost, in terms of the opportunity
you're not making
that
money.
you lost. Absolutely, right? And all the frustrations that you get along the way as well, and all the missed opportunities. It's either you pay for it.
It's a catch-22, So we got to get out of the mindset. The mindset is what sets us free in terms of trusting and believing and allowing good things to happen, which is huge in a world where we can look around everything that's going on, I think, and there's a lot of fear going on, and there's a lot of uncertainty going on in the world and in the markets at the moment, and we can go, Am I going to go down with this, or am I going to rise higher and bigger and greater? Yeah, even if I don't know how and when and what is going to happen, except putting myself forward and trusting that I can do it.
Oh, absolutely. You touch a really, really good point there, Christine. It's about putting yourself out there and trusting that it's going to work out. Right? When you trust, you believe in it, then you keep moving forward. You find a way to actually navigate through and challenges that you have. It's like, you know what? I have a trust, I have a belief to get through it, to navigate through it. How can I do it? Rather than, oh my goodness, it's not going to work. Right?
Yeah.
That's a two different mindset.
Yeah. Totally different mindset. And I think it's also sometimes for me, I don't know what you think, is be realistic about how long it takes. Yes, obviously we want to bring sales in, and sometimes, I'm all about target market, and people say niche down. I'm like, well, when you're starting out, maybe not niche so much if you need some money to come in. Yeah, that doesn't mean we don't want to identify ideal target market and obviously really tailor it towards them. And the more we grow, we can get even more discerning about who we work with. But if it's a matter of just getting money in at the beginning, get the money in and keep growing and keep learning and moving. Yeah. I don't know what your thoughts are on this.
Yeah, I think, look, there's a few ways to skin the cat. Yeah, so find one that works for you. It could be what you said, Christine. Get someone in, get the experience, get the exposure. Get the money coming in at the same time, and to support a family. If you have a family that's being realistic, right? Support the family, because expenses are huge, right, these days. Yeah, if you are a single person, are you able to take on more risk by going niche down, right? And a little more niche.
Yeah. So I actually think it's just a fine balance. You got to sort of look at your own situation and then go, 100%. Okay, what can I do right now? And what is my long-term strategy? And be willing to play the long-term strategy as well and play the long game, because it takes time to build a business. It takes a bit of time to get the strategy right. It takes a bit of time to learn and grow with experiences and to really niche into our ideal, what we're best at serving other people with in terms of our offer. Yeah,
absolutely, right. You got to find one that works for you based on your condition, because no one knows better than yourself, right? On your condition, right? Your environment.
Back to trust. Yeah.
Yes. Back to trust, back to self-belief, right?
And self-belief, huge thing. Self-belief, trust, willing to take the risk, willing to keep going for what you believe you can do, is so important in business, and that will hopefully bring you success. But even so, sometimes we have to change a bit, as we go.
Yeah, absolutely. So change is an amazing thing. Change is an amazing thing, because once you don't change, then everyone is changing, means you're moving backwards, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to point out really quickly here, we touch on risk briefly. It's great that we're taking risk, and it's greater when we start taking educated risk.
Yeah, calculated, educated risk. Yeah,
absolutely, right. Not just taking risk blindly, right? So you have to take educated risk, which is really, really important. So yeah, look, absolutely, change is so important, because the environment is changing, the economy is changing, the people that we serve is changing as well, right? When we don't change, then we get left behind, and then the business suffers, then you suffer. Then
which is
if you're young family as well, your family suffers, right? The profit suffers.
Growth mindset is what I'm hearing. Growth mindset is what I'm hearing from you.
Growth mindset, and also not just growth mindset, the creative mindset, right? The creative mindset needs to be in play as well.
Yeah.
Because
what is the creative? Tell us about creative mindset. That's a good
point.
Finding
new ways to serve your clients.
Yeah.
Finding new ways to serve your clients, finding new ways to add value, finding new ways to interact with your clients, finding new ways to understand what they want, what they need, and also that unravel the things that they did not know about.
Yeah.
Right? So and that's really important.
Yeah. Adaptability, and what you're also saying, from what I'm hearing, at least, correct me if I'm wrong, is as we start to build and start to work with people, as we start to put ourselves out on social media and engaging through networking with potential clients, use it as research. Always think as every conversation and every experience when you're working with someone as research to help you adapt even more, to evolve more towards what their needs are and become better at delivering to their needs.
Yeah. Well said, Christian. Really good.
Fantastic. Just before we finish up, so thank you so much for your time. We've got quite a few
You're
people
welcome.
listening in today. And I hear Christine is saying she took classes in the area she was weak in. Did you take any classes as well, Stephen?
Classes.
In terms of educating yourself on marketing, etc., in places where you're weak. You said
Oh,
when you
yeah,
reach out,
absolutely.
do you get people to do it for you, or do you learn yourself?
Oh, I've joined a mastermind that I learned a lot from the mastermind group.
Yeah.
I've been a part of many masterminds, and where I picked up the skills and really use that, and then combining all the best bits and removing those that doesn't relevant for me, and then packaging myself like, you know what, this is Steven Su's secret sauce, right?
I love that, because what you're saying to me is, yes, we can obviously hire someone if we can afford it, to hire someone or invest in people that can do it for us. But there's also power in learning certain things ourselves and take on board the things that resonates with us and work for our business. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not a huge fan of reinventing the wheel. But I'm a huge fan of improving the wheel. If I use that as an analogy, right?
Makes total sense. Thank you so much for your time today, Stephen.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it. How can people reach out to you? And do you got anything you want to promote or share with them, our listeners today?
Thank
Or
you.
those
You're
who are
very
listening
generous,
afterwards.
Christine. You're very generous, Christine. Yeah, hook me up on LinkedIn, on Facebook as well. I've got no masterclass on. I don't have any workshops or challenges coming up. So look, happy to connect and build a relationship, right? So I got nothing to sell. I'm here to add value to your amazing audience and to yourself as well. Let me know if anything else that I can help your audience with. Connect me on LinkedIn. Connect me on Facebook. That will be
And
amazing.
I think you just touched on a really important point where I see a big difference changing, especially on LinkedIn, in terms of how we market ourselves. It's about adding value. It's not about necessarily selling, because it's about finding the right people where we connect with them, where we're actually able to really add value, because we speak the same language to some extent. We have an energetic connection, yeah? And those are usually the people we're best at servicing, yeah?
Absolutely, right. And that's what lights us up.
I love that. Thank you so much. And your your LinkedIn profile is actually in the post as well. And I'll make sure it's also in the comments as well afterwards. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'll just check. Yeah, we had quite a few people here, so that's exciting. Thank you guys for tuning in and listening in, and love to hear your thoughts as well. Thanks so much. And I'll just end the stream.